Welcome back to Moon Talks with Dad. Today, Moon is wrestling with something we all know too well, a completely tangled, frustrating mess of headphones. In his book, The Road Less Traveled, psychiatrist M. Scott Peck points out that our daily stress usually stems from a hidden expectation that life should be easy. When the headphones tangle or the tire goes flat, we feel something is wrong, rather than accepting these moments as the standard reality of being alive. Peck describes a psychological loophole. Once we truly accept that life is difficult, the difficulty itself stops being a terrifying surprise. It becomes the normal weather. We simply grab an umbrella and get on with the day. This process of adjusting to the weather is spiritual growth. It's the practical, everyday effort of building a reliable inner compass so we can navigate standard difficulties without falling apart. We earn our happiness by actively upgrading our internal toolkit, which gives us the strength to navigate the rocky sections of the road and actually enjoy the hike. Let's step out of the living room for a second and imagine the human mind as a massive, unexplored landscape. To survive out here, Peck says we need to develop 4 core habits. The first habit is discipline. When a problem, or a monster, shows up in your territory, discipline is the active choice to step outside and face it directly instead of hiding in a cave. The second is love. Peck defines this as the work of nurturing our own growth and someone else's, while strictly respecting that they are a separate person with an independent identity. The third habit is worldview and growth. This is the lifelong effort of drawing your own understanding of reality on a blank map, rather than just copying the beliefs handed down by your parents or your culture. The fourth habit is grace. It's the practice of leaving the door to your mind propped open to allow for unexpected wisdom, sudden insights, and the quiet help of the unconscious. These 4 habits create a necessary foundation for a resilient mind. But a foundation requires specific, actionable tools to actually hold up a house every single day. Peck breaks that first habit, discipline, down into 4 very specific tools, starting with delaying gratification. We teach this to 5-year-olds, but as adults, we tend to forget it. It's the choice to eat your broccoli first so you can fully enjoy your dessert later. You tackle the hardest, most unpleasant task on your to-do list right away. Scheduling the pain early maximizes your total joy. When the hard work is finished, your time to rest is free from the nagging, heavy anxiety of an unfinished chore. The second tool is taking responsibility for our actions and our problems. Imagine breaking a vase. The instinct is to blame the dog or the slippery floor. Taking ownership means stepping into the middle of the mess and saying, "Yeah, I did that. This is my problem to solve." Avoiding blame creates a psychological trap. If you convince yourself that a problem is entirely someone else's fault, you also hand over all your power to fix it. Embracing the immediate discomfort of the truth puts you in the driver's seat. You gain active control over how your story unfolds from that point on. That brings us to the third tool, dedication to truth. When new evidence proves our beliefs wrong, our mental map must be actively erased and redrawn. Imagine confidently hiking solid ground, only to hit a deep river. Admitting your map is flawed takes humility. Tragically, people often burn vast amounts of energy fiercely defending a broken, outdated map. They would rather argue with the river than spend a fraction of that effort sketching in a new bridge. The fourth and final tool of discipline is balancing. To navigate a shifting map safely, we have to know when to let go of our old behaviors, and even our old excitements. Peck remembers learning to ride a bike as a kid. He loved the pure thrill of pedaling as fast as he could. But when a sharp curve appeared, he refused to hit the brakes because it felt like a punishment. He kept his speed and he crashed. To survive the curve, he had to sacrifice the thrill. Psychological flexibility allows you to stay upright through life's sharpest turns. It is the wisdom to know exactly when to push forward and exactly when to squeeze the brakes. Back in the living room, those tangled headphones aren't so frustrating anymore. When you stop complaining that the knot exists, you can simply sit down and patiently untie it. Taking the road less traveled means committing to the unglamorous work of growing up, owning our messes, and constantly checking our maps against reality. This harder path leads to a healthy emotional independence. By doing the work to become a whole person, we finally become capable of giving and receiving genuine love. Thank you for joining the conversation today on Moon Talks with Dad. Spiritual growth is built step by step through a lifelong collection of small, brave choices.